He girl with hungry eyes. I owned a small restaurant in a busy city market. From morning until late at night, the place was always crowded. Workers, shopkeepers, travelers, and students came to eat there every day. Business was good, and the restaurant was always full of noise and movement. But among all that rush, there was one face I noticed almost every evening, a face that always left a strange pain in my heart. She was a young girl, probably 12 or 13 years old. Her clothes were dirty, her hair was messy, and her eyes carried a deep exhaustion. Every evening she would quietly sit outside my restaurant. When customers finished their meals, the waiter would collect the leftover food onto a plate and give it to her. She would take it silently and walk a little distance away before sitting down to eat. At first, I didn't pay much attention. The market was full of children like her, kids forced by hunger to eat whatever leftovers they could find. But after a few days, I noticed something different about her. She never begged. She never stretched out her hand. She never made noise or asked anyone for food. She simply sat there quietly and waited. One evening something unusual happened. The restaurant was extremely busy that day, and the food had been prepared in exact quantities. By the end of the day, nothing was left. When the girl came, the waiter had nothing to give her. I watched from the doorway. She stood there for a few moments, hope still shining in her eyes. But when she realized there would be nothing for her that day, she slowly lowered her head and started walking away. The sadness on her face disturbed me deeply. A little while later, I stepped outside for some work and heard shouting near the corner of the street. When I looked, I saw a vegetable vendor arguing angrily with the girl. He was holding her scarf in his hand and gripping her shirt collar. Her shirt had torn, and she was trembling with fear. The vendor was yelling loudly. "Thief! You were stealing tomatoes from my cart." The girl was crying and saying, "I didn't take anything, please let me go." People were standing around watching, but no one stepped forward. Something inside me broke at that moment. I rushed forward and pushed the man's hand away. "Don't you feel ashamed? She's just a child." The vendor replied angrily. "She's a thief. She was taking my tomatoes." I looked at the girl. She stood quietly in a corner, tears running down her cheeks. I asked gently, "Tell me the truth. Did you steal anything?" She shook her head. "No. I only asked if he could give me one tomato. I was very hungry." Her voice was so weak that my heart felt heavy. I handed some money to the vendor and said, "Here. If anything was lost, it's covered. Now leave her alone." The man grumbled and walked away. I then invited the girl inside my restaurant. She hesitated, as if she couldn't believe someone could treat her kindly. I told the waiter, "Bring her a fresh meal." Soon a plate with warm bread, lentils, and vegetables was placed in front of her. She stared at the food for a moment before slowly starting to eat. She was so hungry that her hands were shaking. After she finished, I asked her, "Where do you live? Where are your parents?" Her eyes filled with tears. She told me her name was Emily. Her father had been a construction worker who died in an accident a few months earlier. Her mother was very sick and unable to get out of bed. There was no one left to earn money, so Emily came to the market every day hoping to find something to eat. Hearing this made my heart heavy. From that day on, I decided that Emily would never go hungry again. I told her, "If you want, you can help here at the restaurant. You can wash dishes or clean tables. In return, you'll get food and a little money." For the first time, a light appeared in her eyes. She started coming every day. Slowly her clothes became cleaner, and a smile began to return to her face. A few months later, I helped enroll her in a nearby school. Years passed. Today my restaurant has grown much bigger than before. But the happiest day of my life was when a young woman dressed in a white uniform walked through the door of my restaurant. I looked carefully and immediately recognized her. It was Emily. She had become a nurse. With a smile, she said, "If you hadn't helped me that day, my life might have ended right there." My eyes filled with tears. That day I realized something important. Sometimes, all it takes to change someone's life is one plate of food and a little kindness.